Here's what happened last week. Quinn told Finn,
I'm pregnant.
but she didn't tell him that he's not the father. Puck is.
Sup, MILF?
Can you believe that?
Wow.
But that's not the only baby drama. Terry says she's pregnant, but really she's faking, and Mr. Schuster doesn't know.
Oh my God.
Also, Rachel quit the Glee Club because Sue got Sandy to come back to direct a musical. And that's what you missed on GLEE. Here's what happened last week.
It's a hot damn mess.
Rachel and the Glee Club know that Quinn's pregnant, but they all think Finn's the father when really it's Puck.
Oh.
Yikes. And Terry's only fake pregnant and wants Quinn to give her baby so Will won't find
How
out.
come you haven't had any morning sickness?
Oh, and also Ken is dating Emma, but she's really got eyes for Mr. Shu. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed last week. Quinn's pregnant and Puck's the father, but Quinn's decided to give the baby to Terry, who's not pregnant, just pretending to be. It was her sister Kendra's idea.
We're gonna have to get you a baby.
Also, Ken proposed to Emma, and she said
Yes.
Oh, and Sue got Figgins to make her co-director of the Glee Club.
Hey, kids.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed last week. Quinn's pregnant.
You're off the Cheerios.
And everyone thinks that Finn's the father, though really it's Puck. But Quinn thinks he's a Lima loser and doesn't want anything to do with him.
Sup, MILF?
Also, Kurt told everybody he's gay, including his dad, who is actually kind of cool about
Thanks
it.
for telling me, Kurt.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. Here's what you missed last week. Quinn's pregnant and Puck's the father, but everybody thinks it's Finn.
You're a punk who doesn't deserve Quinn as his girlfriend.
Except for Quinn's parents, who don't know anything at all. They just know she's in the celibacy club.
We'll call the Vatican. We got ourselves another immaculate conception.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed last week. Quinn's parents found out she's pregnant because Finn told them in song.
We didn't even have sex.
So they kicked her out, and now she's living at Finn's house. And everyone thinks that Finn's the father, though really it's Puck.
I don't care if that baby comes out with a mohawk. I will go to my grave swearing it's Finn's.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed last week. Emma and Ken are getting married, though it seems like she really likes Will,
I mean, if we were gonna rank crush-worthy teachers at this school, you'd be #1 with a bullet.
which Ken's kind of noticed, which makes him really not like Will.
You and I, the whole world knows that I'm just a consolation prize to you. How do you think that makes me feel?
Also, Terry says she's pregnant, but really she's faking, and Mr. Schuster doesn't know.
This baby's the only reason he's still here.
Will's busy getting the kids ready for sectionals, where they're up against a school for the deaf
I can't hear you. Talking to this here, Scarlet Fever. You're on.
and a group of juvie girls.
Aphasia. Give Mr. Schuster his wallet back.
But it turns out both of them are really good.
It's like cool epilepsy.
Also, Sue kicked Quinn out of the Cheerios because she's pregnant.
I can't have a pregnant girl in my squad. You're a disgrace.
It's not very nice, but neither is Sue.
Those drinks are crap.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed last week. Will found out Terry's fake pregnant. Yikes. Will left and he's sleeping at school. And he's disqualified from sectionals because he slept on a mattress. And Quinn's pregnant, but Puck's the father, not Finn. Which is awkward since Quinn's been living at Finn's house since her parents kicked her out. And Sue gave the competition Will's set list for sectionals. And Ken and Emma's wedding is that same day, so Will can't go to the wedding and Emma can't go to sectionals. And Ken just seems kind of angry. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what's happened on GLEE if you live in a cave or just got out of prison. Will took over the Glee Club, and at first they were terrible.
We suck.
But then they got kind of good. Quinn got pregnant and said it was Finn's, but really it was Puck's.
Done with you.
And Will's wife, Terry, said she was pregnant, but she was just scared that Will liked Emma.
I just love my wife.
And then they kissed.
I want you to be happy, Finn.
Rachel loves that she and Finn are the Glee Club's new power couple, but he seems a little weird about it. And Sue tried to throw sectionals, but they won anyway, which is pretty exciting.
This is a travesty of international proportions.
That's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what's happened on GLEE. Finn got Kurt a tryout for the football team, which was super cool. But sometimes it seems like maybe Kurt sort of got a crush on him.
Enough to want to give up women altogether.
Will's old crush April joined the Glee Club, but she was drunk all the time, so Will kicked her out. Also, Sue convinced Kurt and Mercedes that they should join the Cheerios, which Will was none too happy about. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what's happened on GLEE. Jesse left Vocal Adrenaline
I'm a star. You can learn from me.
so he could date Rachel, so now he's part of the Glee Club.
Great to have you here.
And they're the new power couple. Previous power couples, Rachel and Finn.
I made us his and her relationship calendars.
Oh,
Also Rachel and Puck.
you want to make out?
Sure.
Will still has a crush on Emma,
I could just lean over and kiss you if I want to. And I want to.
but he hasn't divorced Terry yet, and he made out with the coach of Vocal Adrenaline.
Most of the show choir directors I make out with are gay.
And Sue,
Sloppy freak show babies.
still just kind of angry about everything. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what happened last week. Kurt found a video of Sue, and the Glee Club posted it online.
You, my friend, are an embarrassment.
And then somebody made a list of who in the Glee Club was the naughtiest. So Rachel tried to seem like a bad girl by doing a video with Finn, Puck, and Jesse, but mostly it just hurt their feelings, and the song was really, really bad. Like maybe the worst song ever written. Also, Sue spilled the beans that Will sucked face with Shelby Corcoran, and that one time April Rhodes spent the night, which totally hurt Emma's feelings.
Then I'm through with you.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed last week. Puck had to shave his mohawk, and people started picking on him, so he started dating Mercedes to seem cool again because she was on the Cheerios, but then she quit.
It's just not who I am.
Finn's mom, Carol's, dating Kurt's dad, Bert, which was totally Kurt's idea, but then Kurt got mad that Bert and Finn started hanging out.
I miss you, David.
Rachel heard her voice and couldn't sing, and she kind of thought that was the only thing that was important.
I need applause to live.
But then Finn introduced her to a friend who showed her that there's a lot worse things to lose than your voice.
I compensate with humor.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what happened last week. Will's old rival Brian Ryan tried to cancel the club.
You're done here.
Then he was really into it.
I got custom-made jean jackets.
Then he tried to cancel it again.
You think you're helping these kids when all you're doing is setting them up to be jaded and bitter.
Finn's mom's dating Kurt's dad, which was totally part of Kurt's plan to get closer to Finn, who he's always sort of had a crush on.
When will you learn that nothing is impossible when it comes to love?
Artie told Tina what his greatest dream was, then realized that not every dream was achievable. Is that even a word? Achievable? Achievitate? Achievalize?
Okay, you just said like 10 offensive things.
Jesse pushed Rachel to find out who her mom was, and it turns out it's Shelby Corcoran, the coach of Vocal Adrenaline.
I want a look that's so optimistic, it could cure cancer.
Jeez, and that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Regionals is coming up, and Jesse's left the GLEE club, and though it seems like he might be a spy, he also seems to really like Rachel, which is confusing.
I think I kind of like her. I don't want her to get hurt.
Quinn's preggo and feels like she's totally alone. And Sue won't leave Will alone as the poor guy's trying to get over divorcing his terrible wife, Terry. I mean, she's not terrible. She's just kind of, terrible.
Sorry.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So I don't know why anyone would miss an episode of GLEE, but here's what's been happening in case you did. Quinn's parents found out she's pregnant, so they kicked her out.
I needed my mom. So it's decided. You move in with me.
Jesse dropped Rachel and McKinley and the New Directions, and he's back on Vocal Adrenaline, which freaked everybody out and convinced them they can't beat him at regionals. And if they don't place at regionals, the club is over, which would be awful. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed last season on GLEE. Quinn had a baby. Finn and Rachel are in love. Sue's going easy on Will, and even though the GLEE club worked really hard to get to regionals, they didn't win.
Vocal adrenaline!
But it's okay to not win an award, particularly when you had so much fun getting there, right? Right?
We didn't even place.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Emma had a crush on Will, but Will was married. Then Will had a crush on Emma, so he got a divorce and he kissed her, but now she's dating some dude named Carl.
He's my dentist.
It's a total bummer. Tina told Artie to take a hike.
You're a terrible
And then she got
boyfriend.
the hots for Mike Chang, and now Artie's obsessed with getting her back.
I want abs.
So much drama. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Artie made the football team, which is crazy. Finn's not the quarterback anymore. This new kid Sam is. Can you believe it? Kurt's dad and Finn's mom are dating and are really happy together, which makes Finn and Kurt sort of like brothers. They sure yell at each other like brothers.
Why is it so hard for you to understand?
Sue has a sister Jean who she doesn't yell at all.
I will always love you.
Which sort of makes her the only person Sue doesn't yell at. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Tina dumped Artie for Mike Chang. There's this new kid, Sam, who's got a great voice, and Finn heard him sing in the shower.
And we'd like to talk to you about GLEE Club.
Finn thought Kurt was trying to look at him in the shower, so he called him a name, which totally got him chewed out by Kurt's dad. Maybe everyone should just start taking baths. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Puck tried to steal an ATM and got himself stuck in juvie.
As far as badasses go, I'm number one.
Sam and Quinn are sort of a couple, and so are Mike and Tina. Artie and Brittany went out, but then he sort of dumped her, and now he sort of wants her back. Kurt's pretty lonely all by himself, and so is Coach Beast. Sue keeps trying to get her to quit. She even baked her a batch of cookies.
Are those dog poop cookies?
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Will's wife put the Terry in terrible relationship, so now she's his ex-wife.
What is wrong with you?
Kurt met this kid Blaine, who he really likes, and he seems really nice, but he sings at the GLEE club at another school. They're called the Warblers.
The Warblers are like rock stars.
Kurt isn't liking his own school at all because Karofsky's been coming after him and nobody knows why.
You can't punch the gay out of me any more than I can punch the ignoramus out of
Well,
you.
Kurt knows why, but he hasn't told anyone. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Kurt's still getting harassed and doesn't know what to do about it.
I'm gonna kill you.
Finn and Kurt got mad at each other because Kurt had a crush on Finn, and then Finn called him a nasty name, but it also wasn't cool that Kurt couldn't take a hint. And their parents are dating, so it's a little awkward. Sam and Quinn are sort of dating, and Sue sort of dated Rod
You
Remington.
sunk my battleship, Rod, and you sunk it hard.
But then she caught him cheating, so she's back on the market. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Kurt's trying to get used to another school, and Will's trying to get used to the fact that Emma went to Vegas with her boyfriend and came home married.
I'm happy for you.
Brittany thinks Artie's the best boyfriend ever,
Magic, Brittany.
which is what Rachel used to think about Finn. But then she learned the secret about him and Santana, which made her super mad.
Do you think she's prettier than me?
Don't answer that.
So she made out with Puck, which made Finn super mad.
Done with you.
Because his girlfriends are always making out with Puck.
Boyfriend troubles. I got that covered. Considering I'm usually the cause of them, I'd say I'm an expert.
It's like a thing. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Sue tried to shoot Brittany out of the cannon, but it wasn't safe, so Britton, Santana, and Quinn quit the Cheerios.
Sucks for you.
Now we get to see what they look like in street clothes. Finn broke up with Rachel because she made out with Puck, but then Quinn kissed Finn after the big game, even though she's been dating Sam. Yikes. It used to be a love triangle, and now it's like a pentagon. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Puck's got a thing for Lauren Zeises, but she's not really down with it.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Finn kissed Quinn, who's supposed to be dating Sam, and Rachel kissed Finn too, but he didn't feel the fireworks.
The cheek?
Can you believe that? Sue tried to shoot Brittany out of a cannon to win nationals, but the only thing she won was Katie Couric's Loser of the Year.
I hate you, Diane Sawyer.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on Glee. Quinn was dating Sam, but then she kissed Finn, so Santana told Sam, and now they've started dating.
Delicious.
Will's not dating anyone and says he's over Emma, but it seems like he's still got a thing for her, even though she's married. Kurt's really into Blaine, and Blaine likes Kurt, but he says he just wants to stay friends. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Will's dating the hot substitute, Holly Holiday. She's totally sassy, and you can really see why he's into her.
Sexy.
Quinn and Finn are back together in a big way, and so is the Glee Club. They did original songs, and now they're headed to New York. Get out! But Sue thinks Will made her lose at Nationals, and she's sort of gone over the edge, even for her, and that's saying something. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. The Glee Club's getting ready for Nationals, and Quinn's getting ready to be prom
We
queen.
need to get elected for prom king and queen. It's the ultimate status symbol.
Kurt had to leave McKinley because Karofsky threatened him.
Can't expel a kid for shoving. He'll just say, I didn't mean to shove that kid. I tripped. Excuse works like a charm. I use it all the time.
But at least he's got Blaine and the Warblers, who just lost at regionals to the New Directions.
Got each other out of all this. That beats a lousy trophy, don't you think?
Santana's got it bad for Brittany.
This relationship is really confusing for me.
Breakfast is confusing for you.
Well, sometimes it's sweet and sometimes it's salty. Like, what if I have eggs for dinner? Then what is it?
And Will sort of always had it bad for Emma, but lately she's gotten super crazy with the cleaning fruit and stuff.
I'm not following.
Like, seriously crazy.
One day, you're gonna find a way to beat this thing.
And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee.
Kurt Hummel's back at McKinley!
Kurt's back at McKinley, but he's still dating Blaine. Sam used to date Quinn, but she's back with Finn, who used to date Rachel, who's still sort of in love with him. Finn, that is. Santana's in love with Brittany, but she's too scared to say it out
You
loud.
told me you were in love with me. I honestly don't know what I was thinking.
And Britt's back with Artie anyways. Kids these days.
I have a question.
Sue's bent on destroying the Glee Club before Nationals.
Destroy the Glee Club.
She even formed an evil league with nicknames.
The League of
I don't
Doom.
think I was listening when he said what our name
Is
was.
it League or Legion?
Worst henchman ever.
And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Prom's coming up, and Quinn's desperate to win queen so she can hold on to Finn, who still sort of has eyes for Rachel. But Zeiss also wants to be queen, and Puck's up for king, and Karofsky and Santana want to win too, because they both got a secret they'd like to keep.
Have you ever heard of the term beards?
Artie and Brittany were BF and GF, but he got mad and said she was stupid, and now they're not BF and GF.
You were the only person in this school that never called me that.
Can you believe that? And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Nationals is in New York City and everyone's really excited. Jesse St. James is back in town and he's starting a show choir consulting business.
Two things that I'm great at. Show choir and destroying the competition.
The New Direction should hire him. A, they really want to win, and B, he's super handsome. Terry's back too, and Sue wants the Honey Badger to take out the Glee Club before they can get to New York. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Quinn's got a new look and a new crowd of skanks. Kurt got Blaine to join the New Directions, which is good because Santana got kicked out and Sugar Mata wasn't good enough to get in.
Who cares what you think?
McKinley's doing West Side Story, and Kurt and Rachel need the lead so they can get into Nyada. Sue's using her run for Congress to come after the arts. Believe it or not, still not a big fan of the Glee Club, and that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Emma's living with Will, which has really helped her OCD, which is good because she's helping Artie and Beast direct West Side Story. Rachel seems like a shoo-in for Maria, and Kurt's running for class president so he can get into Nyada.
I thank you in advance for your vote.
But Brittany quit as his campaign manager so she could run too.
I'm also a unicorn.
That's so unicorn, and that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Shelby's back with Beth, and she's starting her own show choir at McKinley. Mercedes is on board because she's tired of Rachel in the Glee Club.
I've outgrown you.
But Quinn's only playing nice so she and Puck can get the baby back. Kurt and Rachel and Brittany are all running for senior class president, and Sue's running for Congress so she can cut funding for Glee Clubs everywhere. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. McKinley's doing West Side Story and everyone's excited, especially Coach Beast and Emma and Artie because they're the directors. Blaine got the lead and so did Rachel, which made Mercedes quit the Glee Club and join Shelby's Trouble Tones with Santana and Brittany. Mike Chang's playing Riff, even though his dad told him he can't be a dancer.
Riff is perfect for you.
I think he wants him to go to doctor college or something. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Quinn and Puck want their baby back, but then Puck kissed Shelby, so now he doesn't know what side he's on.
Do you want our baby back or not?
Santana and Brittany have a secret thing going, and they quit the Glee Club with Mercedes to join the Trouble Tones.
Awesome! More backup for me.
Sue and Bert are mad at each other because they're both running for Congress.
Too late to get on the ballot, but I can still run as a write-in candidate.
And Kurt and Rachel and Brittany are all mad at each other because they're all running for class president.
I will see you at the debate.
Everyone's mad at each other. It's crazy.
No, you're crazy.
Did you airbrush out your jowl?
I can't work with her.
I thought I smelled blue collar.
Stop.
Would you turn that thing off?
And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Coach Beast is head over heels for a guy named Cooter who's a football recruiter. Rachel's running for class president against Kurt and Brittany and a guy from the hockey team.
Bo Rick the Stick.
Bert's running for Congress against Sue and Reggie the Sauce, this guy who owns a pizza chain and who's gonna air a commercial that'll out Santana.
Everyone's gonna know now because of you.
She thought the whole thing was Finn's fault, so she slapped him really hard in front of God and everybody. Ouch. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Sam and Mercedes started secretly dating, and then he left town, and now he's back and wants her back, but Mercedes has a new man.
I've moved on.
Coach Beast had the hots for Cooter the football recruiter, and he liked her back, but when Sue found out, she decided she wanted Cooter all to herself. Emma's got wedding fever, but Will's a little skittish because the last time he was married, it didn't go well. Terry pretended to be pregnant, she yelled a lot, she hated the Glee Club, and that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Sue's pregnant, which is crazy.
I had my eggs frozen in the late 70s.
She won't say who the father is, but insists that he's famous. Rachel and Finn decided to get married after regionals, where the New Directions beat Sebastian and the Warblers in a magical group that just sort of made everyone uncomfortable. And Sebastian made up with Blaine after realized life's too short to blind people with rock salt. Quinn thought Rachel and Finn were too young to get married and refused to go to the wedding.
Which makes me really sad because I would have loved to have seen you in a bridesmaid's dress, Quinn.
But then changed her mind and started texting while she raced to the courthouse and her car got hit by a truck. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Sue's helping the Glee Club win nationals so Figgins won't give the Cheerios to Roz Washington, who has bronze medals in synchronized swimming and trying to take other people's jobs.
You are done.
Sam and Mercedes were sort of dating, but she called it off in song and it totally bummed him out. Rachel and Finn were supposed to get married, but they got in a huge fight because Rachel wants to go to New York and Finn might want to go to LA, and he thinks she only thinks about herself, which is sort of true, and she thinks that he's sort of lost, which is definitely true. In fact, a lot of the New Directions have no idea what they're doing, and graduation is right around the corner. They should change their name to the No Directions. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Kurt and Rachel made the final cut for Nyada, which means the biggest audition of their lives is coming up if they want their big-time Broadway dreams to come true. Puck has big-time pool cleaning business dreams, but first he has to graduate. Roz Washington's been trying to steal the Cheerios from Sue, the same way Beast stole Cooter, the football recruiter, and got married after a romantic taco dinner. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Rachel choked at her Nyada audition, which means she blew the biggest audition of her life.
Oh, God.
Which, as far as she's concerned, is now pretty much over.
I had my chance and I choked.
Quinn's in a wheelchair, but her rehab's going well, partly because Joe's been going with her. Brittany probably forgot she was elected senior class president, and Puck failed his big geography exam about Iberian precipitation, which means he's not going to graduate. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Kurt pulled a last-minute switcheroo for Carmen Thibodeau and nailed his Nyada audition, while Rachel tried her old Don't Rain on My Parade standby, which we've all heard now like a bajillion times, and she totally choked. Beast admitted that her husband Cooter hit her, but she lied and said she'd left him when actually she stayed. Puck isn't graduating, which he pretends not to care about.
I'm too stupid.
But a while back, he told everybody that graduating high school was something he was really looking forward to. The Glee Club's been ignoring Tina all year long.
Tina won't mind being recast.
No, she won't.
Actually, she kind of got ignored last year, too. Actually, Tina's sort of been ignored the whole time, and she's been in the New Direction since, like, forever. The first time she got a solo, she insisted she was bad and forced Mr. Shu to give the song to Rachel, and every solo since she's either gotten booed or started crying uncontrollably. No one noticed that she went from dressing punk to dressing goth to dressing like a go-go dancer in 60s swinging London. She even got Mike Chang into college, and she hardly got a thank you. Sometimes people don't even seem to know her name.
Girl Chang.
Tina blowing wang.
Asian horror movie.
And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. The Glee Club started out as underdogs singing show tunes in the choir room, and now they're headed to Chicago to compete for a national championship. I mean, they made it to nationals last year in New York, but they came in 12th. It was sort of a nightmare. Rachel's nightmare totally came true when she choked at her Nyada audition, and literally all she's talked about for 3 years is New York, Broadway, Streisand, Dreams, Broadway. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Rachel's in New York and a new friend Brody is way hot, but Finn's still MIA and her dance teacher Cassandra totally hates her guts. Thank God Kurt showed up, so now they can be classic New York roommates and shop for shoes and stuff. There's a new girl in Glee Club named Marley, and she could be the next big thing. So could this kid Jake, and it turns out he's Puck's half-brother, and Puck totally doesn't know about him. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Kurt's in New York where he's rooming with Rachel and planning to interview for Vogue.com. Rachel's friend Brody totally wants to date her, but she's still confused about Finn, and Finn's still in the army, and nobody's heard from him.
Glee!
Back at McKinley, Mr. Shu's trying to repeat a win at Nationals by repeating assignments from last year.
Are we doing Britney Week again?
That's great.
And Sam's new blonde bestie's with Brittany, who didn't graduate and thinks she's still president, even though all she accomplished last year was a dinosaur prom. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee.
I needed you around and you weren't there.
Blaine cheated on Kurt and they broke up, and Rachel and Finn broke up too, and Finn has no idea what he wants to do with his life.
We're done.
Jake has his eye on Marley, which Kitty's really not happy about. And Emma's not sure she wants to leave McKinley to go to Washington with Will. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. The cast list for Grease went up, and Kitty's none too happy.
Who the hell is Patty Simcox?
And neither is Jake, because Ryder got Danny and Marley got Sandy. Unique's playing Rizzo, which totally confused Principal Figgins.
Unique Adams is nothing more than an attractive, buxom young woman who's got it going on in all the right places. She's a brick house, Sue.
And Blaine's the teen angel, and he's totally broken up about breaking up with Kurt. Sue's out for Finn because he called her baby retarded.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
And now he's going to take over Glee Club because Will's going to Washington on sabbatical. And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. Mr. Shu's in Washington, so now Finn's in charge of the Glee Club, and they have to win sectionals, which is just a week away. Blaine cheated on Kurt, and he's super broken up about it. And Kurt's the whole reason Blaine came to McKinley, and now he's gone, and Blaine's all alone. Jake saw Ryder and Marley kiss, and even though she's super skinny and super beautiful, Kitty's got Marley convinced that she's gaining weight.
The stage always adds at least 10 pounds.
And that's what you missed on Glee. So here's what you missed on Glee. The New Directions lost to the Warblers at sectionals when Marley collapsed in the middle of the show.
The New Directions are finished.
So Sue took over the choir room, and now the Glee Club's homeless. Puck moved back to Lima after striking out in LA, and he and Jake used to just be half-brothers, but now they're like bros. Jake and Marley are almost an item, and Kurt got a surprise audition in Nyada, and he totally got in. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Marley's dating Jake, but Ryder totally kissed her out of nowhere. Finn kissed Emma too, and then she freaked out and left Will at the altar. Everyone felt bad, but not bad enough to waste a wedding reception, and everybody hooked up. And I mean everybody. Now Rachel thinks she might have a bun in the oven, and Santana moved in with her and Kurt, and Brody lives there too, except he's gone a lot and carries large wads of cash. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Santana thought that Brody was a drug dealer.
He's not a drug dealer.
But it turns out he's a gigolo, and Santana figured it out and told Finn.
Pack your bags.
So Finn went to New York and beat the crap out of Brody and told him to stay away from my future wife. And Rachel has no idea any of this is going on. Yikes. Will's still mad at Finn for kissing Emma.
I'm so sorry. Sorry's not gonna cut it.
So Finn left the Glee Club to go to college to become a teacher, and Blaine's got a crush on Sam, which he's had ever since the Sadie Hawkins dance, but Sam just thinks that he and Blaine are besties, which they totally are, but still. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. A gun went off at school and everyone was terrified, and Sue said it was hers and had to leave McKinley.
Ready to take my punishment.
But secretly, she's just protecting Becky.
Stop.
Finn kissed Emma and then apologized to Will.
So sorry.
But Will never really forgave him, so Finn went off to college to fulfill his dream of becoming a teacher.
BroadwayWorld.com is saying Funny Girl is finally happening this season.
Rachel's got an audition to play Fanny Bryce in a Broadway production of Funny Girl to fulfill her dream of playing Fanny Bryce in a Broadway production of Funny Girl. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Ryder's getting catfished and he has no idea who's doing it, except he sort of knows who's doing it because when he called them, someone's phone rang in the choir room, which means it's somebody in Glee Club. Sue left McKinley to protect Becky, which is crazy. And Santana's living in New York with Kurt and Rachel, but she doesn't have a bedroom and she doesn't go to Nyada, so what exactly is she doing anyway? And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel got the lead in Funny Girl on Broadway, and Kurt announced he's starting a band. Sue framed Figgins, so now she's the principal, and Becky's her secretary.
I plan on installing Becky as my secretary, and I will refer to her as my secretary.
There's a new bitch on the Cheerios, and her name's Bree. And there's a new school nurse, and her name's Penny.
Penny Owen.
And she gave Sam a shot in the butt with her Cupid syringe, and now he's got like the biggest crush ever.
It is your responsibility to dance with me.
Jake and Marley have found true love, so you know that's gonna last.
It's me and you against the world.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Will made the Glee Club decide whether they were Katie's or Gaga's, as if those were the only two options, which Sue thought was stupid, so now she's got it out for them, but this time she's principal and Becky's her secretary.
Oh, snap!
Jake wanted to go all the way with Marley, but Marley only let him touch her boob, so Jake cheated on her with Demon Hellspawn Bree, because that's the kind of guy he is, and Marley doesn't know.
Do you want to go somewhere?
Is your girlfriend going to be there?
Rachel got the lead in Funny Girl on Broadway, but the director's sort of weird and has crazy eyes and wasn't even that sure she was right for the part to begin with.
All I needed to say.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. It's springtime in the longest year ever at McKinley, and it's almost time for graduation. Sue's principal and Becky's her secretary.
Get out, bitch!
Which is good because Becky made it clear she doesn't ever want to leave McKinley. Jake cheated on Marley with Demon Hellspawn Bree, and he didn't even say I'm sorry, which totally hit Marley like a ton of bricks that she broke through with a wrecking ball.
Say what?
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Sue framed Figgins so she could take his job, so now she's principal and Becky's her secretary.
Get out, bitch!
Kurt started a cover band called Pamela Lansbury, and Rachel's in it, and so is Santana, and so is Danny, and so is Elliot, who they also call Starchild, but his name's really Elliot.
Oh my God, Starchild.
Jake used to be a man slut, but then he wasn't because he met Marley, but then he cheated on Marley with Bree, which was so super mean because Marley's so nice and Bree's so horrible, and it's like, geez, I guess he's a man slut again. That's so sad.
My Aunt Felicia always says a titan can't change his stripes.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel's got the lead in Funny Girl on Broadway, and Santana doesn't know what she wants to do.
Bad yeast goes scat. With yeast is stat.
The New Directions are getting ready for college. Artie's going to film school in Brooklyn, and Blaine auditioned for Nyada. Kurt formed a band, but he's afraid Starchild's trying to steal the spotlight, which is easy when you dress like a glam rock Ebenezer Scrooge.
Thank you for your time, Starchild, but it's not a fit.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel and Santana are on the outs because Santana landed a job in Funny Girl as Rachel's understudy, even though Santana's Latin and Fanny Bryce is clearly Jewish.
You and I have never been friends. Never have and never will be.
Nationals is fast approaching and graduation's in 2 weeks.
My fellow graduates.
God, this can't be happening.
But not everyone knows what they're gonna do once they graduate because the New Directions seem to plan their lives like they plan their set list. They pretty much figure it out the night before.
I'm not ready to make a decision.
Okay.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. The New Directions are headed to Nationals in beautiful Los Angeles, and Sue gave Mr. Shu an ultimatum that if they don't win, the club is finished.
William Michael Schuster!
But he says he knows a championship team when he sees
You guys are ready.
Although last time I counted, they don't even have enough members. They better scare up 3 band members stat. Finn led the Glee Club to victory last year, but now they don't have a leader, and they also don't have Rachel, or Kurt, or Santana, or Brittany, or Mercedes, or Rory the Irish Kid. Where'd he go? And they're also up against a performing arts school where they don't even take classes, and they're all like acrobats and contortionists. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. The Glee Club is officially over because the New Directions didn't win at Nationals, and since Sue's principal only wants winning teams at McKinley, she made good on her promise to cancel it.
Hold up.
Which means if Will wants to coach a Glee Club, he has to find a new job, and he's got a baby on the way.
Oh God, that's awful.
Blaine got into Nyada, and Artie's at film school in Brooklyn, and Sam's not going to college, but he's in New York to try his luck at modeling.
So I'm going to skip college too and become a male model.
Impossible, you're too fat.
Santana and Brittany are are off on an extended vacation on the Isle of Lesbos, and Rachel's 6 months into her dream of playing Fanny Bryce in Funny Girl, and that's about to open on Broadway real soon. It's exciting. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel got the lead in Funny Girl on Broadway, and they've been rehearsing like forever, and now the show's about to open, and Blaine and Sam and Artie and Mercedes are all in New York too.
If you can sing in the middle of Times Square, you can pretty much do anything.
Artie's in film school, and Blaine's at NIADA, and Sam is a model, and Mercedes is recording an album. And Blaine and Sam moved in with Mercedes, and Sam really wants to go out with her. Or go out with her again, because they already went out, and she broke up with him and sang I Will Always Love You wearing the world's most awesome wig.
What are we gonna do about our sexual chemistry?
Been there, done that, no Sam.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Sam and Mercedes are dating, and they're actually living together after Sam tried couch surfing at Rachel and Kurt's, and they made him move out.
You've been sitting there since I left this morning.
Blaine moved out too, even though he and Kurt are still together and still getting married, but still they decided it'd be better if they were living apart. Artie's in New York too, and he used to date Tina, then Brittany, then Katie, but now he's single and on the prowl at film school in Brooklyn. And that's what you missed on GLEE. Here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel's a hit in Funny Girl on Broadway, but she's on thin ice because she lied to producers and missed a performance. Mercedes is finishing her album with a duet with Santana, and Blaine's getting wooed by a rich society dame who's dying to showcase his talent.
I'm a little jealous, but I'm not resentful.
And all Kurt's got is NIADA and the diner and his precious collection of neckerchiefs. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel went to LA to audition for a TV show, but it was terrible and she missed a performance, but then she found out that the TV executives want to write a show around her. Sam's a male model and Mercedes' album's about to drop, and they're still going out, except Mercedes definitely wants to save herself for marriage. Sassy heiress June Dalloway wants to put on a showcase for Blaine, but Blaine lied to Kurt and said he's in it too. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel and Kurt are back coaching the Glee Club, and Will's coaching Vocal Adrenaline, and Blaine's coaching the Warblers, and even Sam's back coaching football.
Shut up, I know.
But the New Directions only have 4 members, and they need 12 for sectionals, and it seems like the new kids are nice and stuff, and maybe can sing, but it's like, wait, who are you? Kurt and Blaine are still broken up, and Kurt's not really dating, but Blaine definitely is dating, and the guy he's dating is Karofsky. So, like, ouch.
I'm hoping we can be friends.
Sounds like fun.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Sue sprung a surprise invitational on the New Directions and the Warblers and Vocal Adrenaline, and Will's team got to go first, and they were amazing. Kinda hard to see how they could lose. Sue's a secret cleaner and obsessed with getting Kurt and Blaine back together, except Blaine's dating Karofsky, and Kurt went on a date with a guy named Walter in his 50s.
How old are you exactly?
Sue hypnotized Sam to mess with Will and Rachel,
Oh my god, I'm totally hypnotized.
and now Will and Rachel are like actual show choir enemies. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Rachel got Kitty to rejoin the Glee Club, and Spencer just joined on his own. But anyway, the New Directions were really good, and they won Sue's weird invitational.
They were sitting on stools, singing in unison.
Something's definitely going on between Rachel and Sam, because like they were hanging out and they kissed, but it could have something to do with Sue hypnotizing him. Santana and Brittany are engaged and in love, but Santana's still super bummed about the time she came out and her grandma disowned her. Boo. And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE.
Consider this the opening salvo of World War Sue. I'm asking you for your help.
To destroy the Glee Club.
I will not stop until your little Glee Club is annihilated into oblivion. I swear to sweet holy Satan, I will end you.
And that's what you missed on GLEE. So here's what you missed on GLEE. Sue got fired from McKinley, so now she's at Carmel High coaching Vocal Adrenaline. Dalton Academy burnt down, and all the Warblers came to McKinley, which is good because the New Directions didn't have enough kids, and if they don't win, the Glee Club's over. But it might be anyway because Rachel got accepted back at NIADA and got offered a role on Broadway. And that's what you missed on GLEE.